just kidding. Go ahead.
Holy shit, I think this is the first time in a long-ass time we've actually had the full group.
Wait.
We had the full group last time.
I thought
like 2 weeks ago, maybe, yeah, but still,
Yeah,
it feels weird.
It's not a
Like, I'm
normal
looking,
thing now.
it's not, like, I'm looking at the conga line of the party, and it's like, holy shit, everyone's actually here. And so, welcome back to Fury the Outlands, the D&D campaign where sometimes we all actually manage to show up on time. As usual, I am your humble dungeon master, Dan. I am a theater freak and a TTRPG geek. And yeah, we're back with whatever fucking episode this is, but at the very least, we're in a new fucking story arc. Jesus Christ, it only took like, what, 10 episodes? And like, 10 episodes in 10 months? Before we get into our shenanigans and our recap, as usual, if you want to know what our lives are like outside of the campaign, but not necessarily outside of D&D, go over to Spotify and listen to the Guys podcasts. Sadly, you will not hear Dusk on it yet.
not yet.
We talk about a variety of different things, between video games, Magic the Gathering, Critical Role, our actual lives. If you're under the age of 18, don't listen to the second episode.
Please.
If you do anyway, that's your fault.
And the one episode I was in.
No, you were in like one or two others.
Do you have like a disclaimer at the
listen to any
beginning of each
episode I was in.
episode?
Yeah. If you want to hear a song about a pug, go over to Wyra's Spotify. She's got at least one song out. Hopefully, to
WAYRA_AYELEN. It is my Instagram, my Spotify, my everything. Go on and check it out. There will be other songs. Thank you very much.
She's the girl.
and yeah, hopefully we'll try and maybe link it also in the description below the YouTube episode that comes out. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that anymore.
You should diss Kendrick or Drake.
I don't diss artists unless I actually have an opinion on them.
That is a
Sorry.
good thing. Daniel,
I have
I
opinions.
appreciate that. You're the one. That's great.
Also, Angel has various artworks at Tenshi Art at what, like 2 different platforms?
Everything. That's also my name on everywhere, every place. And yes, I do YouTube and art. YouTube, not so much. YouTube probably soon, but everything else, yes.
Yeah. Yep. And I believe that is everything and everyone. Also, if you're bored of this campaign, our YouTube at the very least has various other campaigns of the past, various one-shots. One shot where we actually used a different GTRPG system. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite Christmas one-shots that we've done. But yeah, with that said, let us finally get into this recap
Hell yeah.
before like half of our group decides to head out. Because I know I know at least one or two of you need to be out somewhat early and whatnot, but don't give me that.
What,
Sorry, I
should
thought
do
you were
something?
flipping. No, I was looking at Wyra. I thought you were flipping us off.
Damn.
Okay, well, with that said, let us get into the recap. So, after getting some information from the Sisters of the Flame, the party decided to make their way out in search of a cave that leads to the entrance of the Maze of Embers. A location of some sort that has ties to Yuri Volkanov and his family curse. Long story short, they met up with a fire Goliath who guards the entrance to the maze. The Guardian had a small conversation with Yuri before asking Yuri to face off against him in a one-on-one match. The two fought, shaking up the cave a little bit and whatnot, but eventually Yuri did win by a hair. And the Guardian allowed him and the rest of the party to traverse across the gate into the Maze of Embers. The Guardian did also issue a few warnings, one of which is that the maze itself acts as a sort of leeway situation between the material plane and the elemental plane of fire, and that for as long as Yuri and his party continue along this quest within the maze, until they or anyone until they complete the trials within the maze, or until someone within the maze completes the trials, they will be permanently stuck there, without any means to return back to the material plane. And that is pretty close to where we are now.
I
So,
thought something happened for a second. It was just you pausing, changing the music.
yeah, no, I was trying to switch the music. So, as of right now, you all are within the Maze of Embers. Why is it? Oh, right, shrinking. Forgot about that. Where the fuck is my... There I am. Okay, so as of right now, you all are inside the maze. The door had closed behind you some time ago. You're not entirely sure how long it has been at that point, whether it's been a few minutes, an hour. Doesn't feel like it's been more than a day. It doesn't feel like it's been a day or more. You guys know that at least, but as of right now, you all are making your way through the maze with Yuri at its head. The surroundings, at the very least, are bare. The walls themselves darkened with ash, with cooled down rock from some sort of molten activity, and the air itself is dense with heat. You can feel the air around you just getting warmer and warmer. Even for Yuri, a fire genasi, supposedly resistant or maybe even immune, who the fuck knows? But at the very least, resistant to any forms of flame. You even see Yuri every once in a bit sweating from the heat itself. Yuri, you definitely feel the heat around you. Not in a comfort sense that you're used to feeling in fire, or at the very least, it's not like how you've normally been around fire before with your resistance. Frost, because your draconic bloodline revolves more around the cold and ice, you definitely feel the heat. You're not overly sweating, as if like heat is your weakness or shit like that, but because of the fact that you are a descendant from the primordial dragons related to ice and frost and the cold, you were probably one of the first to get majorly sort of hit with this wave of heat. Arakion, Big B, you guys are neither resistant nor vulnerable to fire or the heat itself, but it definitely you all can feel the heat. Icarus, for the first time in a while, you are thankful that you are wearing some sort of a fucking vest.
We dress slutty for a reason, then.
Oh my god.
Yuri, when you first made your way into the cave where the entrance was, you had this pole, which you realized at this point was a pole towards the gate itself that was the entrance to the maze. Now that you are here, you can definitely feel that wherever in specific the maze is, it definitely draws upon the primordial plane of fire, in which, while you do feel the heat itself from the plane, it does give you some sense of strength, whether, albeit as small as it is, considering you are only your bloodline is only more of a half of the elemental blood that runs within your veins. But regardless of the heat, regardless of the maze itself, now more than ever you are determined to try and find your way through this maze in order to get the answers that you seek, to maybe even see your father for the first time in decades, maybe almost over half a century. I don't know how old Yuri is off the top of my head, but I know it's been at least that long. It's not until a good bit of walking through this maze, through its twists and turns, that you eventually realize you honestly have no fucking clue where you're going. Your determination, you're still determined, but you just kind of stop and realize you do not have a map, and you have no fucking clue exactly where everything is, what the layout of this maze is.
I mean, it is a maze, so defeat the
Amazing.
purpose. It'd defeat the purpose if we went in with a map.
It's true.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Does Yuri still continue on with a confidence of I know where I'm going, sort of thing, or?
Nah, I think Yuri's honest. I think Yuri's guys, I have no idea where the fuck I'm going.
Well,
Sorry, I'm trying to get into character. I just did not do my pre-session character practice. Because every D&D player has that, right? Or is it just me?
no, you're not alone.
Frost is just gonna look at Yuri and just say, perhaps we just pick a direction and stay the course.
Sounds like a plan.
Also, how does Yuri look after their fight with the Guardian? Pretty beat up still?
Yeah, pretty beat up, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look at...
Yeah, you got roughed up.
Alright.
18 of 67 HP.
Ooh.
Oh, I forgot I had that. Oh.
Sorry, that was my phone. That was my master. Anywho, Frost is going to just hang on. Which of my cure wounds? Cool. I'm just gonna walk up to you, put a hand on you, and cast cure wounds, and give you. Come on. Okay. 14 hit points.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah,
Doing my
Yuri,
job.
Frost kind of places his hand upon you. This sort of glowing light kind of emanates, slowly kind of starts to fade around your body, and you feel, at the very least, some of your bruises and wounds and whatnot beginning to heal.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. The sensation that you feel despite the heat of the maze is a brief moment of refreshing cool, if that makes sense. Until the heat of the maze eradicates it.
So at least for like a couple of seconds, you felt yourself kind of cool down to the point where you don't feel the temperatures of the maze around you, and then it just goes back to the heat, and in your head you're just like, oh, damn it.
Wait, do it again. I could always just breathe on you.
It's like carrying a hand fan when it's hot as fuck.
Huh?
Having a little fan when it's hot outside. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Yuri, after that, you kind of take a look around. Aside from the direction that leads back to the entrance, which at this point is useless, the road for lack of better words, the road ahead of you is still, for the time being, going down in what seems to be the straight corridor of the walls of stone and ash.
There haven't been any turns since we entered the maze yet? Or did I misunderstand?
From what you can tell at the moment, there hasn't been any turns as of yet. But then again, you are unsure of entirely how big the maze is. The only information about the maze that you were sort of 100% given is that it's basically the maze itself rests between the material plane and the elemental plane of fire. But it was never entirely described how big this maze is. So for all you know, it could take up the entire space in between the two planes. It could only take up a fraction. None of you have any fucking idea.
Could I make
Question,
a... go ahead.
What are the walls made out of?
From looking at a quick glance, it looks like they are made of some sort of stone in itself, with what seems to be some small layer of ash that seems to be along the surface itself of the walls.
So I can touch it and be fine.
Yes.
Brilliant.
All right.
Time to follow the left wall.
Could I make a perhaps a history check to see if I can recall reading about any information on this space between the planes?
I'd say you can either make a history check or a religion check.
That was my second guess. Won't make a difference either way. Let's
Weren't
just-
proficient in either of them?
No, which is funny. I got 15.
Okay, so yeah, for 15 in religion, much like kind of what you heard between from the Guardian and from the Kindred Mother, the Maze of Embers has been used by those who worship the goddess of fire, Rhea, as a means of trials to seek out those who would be deemed as champions of the goddess. The sorry. The exact like origin of where the maze came from, you don't entirely know offhand, but you do know that for as long as the goddess has been around, which would be at the very least, oh god, and I gotta remember how many years it's been in between each eras. Because as of right now, time period wise, it is currently the fourth era of the world, and there weren't a lot that there's the wow, English, fucking hell. Rhea has been seen as a goddess of worship at the very least since the second era, so it's been a very long time to have someone be deemed someone of worship for a span of 2 eras.
But that I don't know how large the maze is because of that.
There hasn't really been a lot of documentation about the maze. It's especially within the Outlands, considering that a lot of ancient texts and recordings had pretty much been destroyed when the old Atherin Empire fell. Because at that point, it was the nobility and any forms of government were just basically getting beaten the fuck out of by their common populace. So they weren't necessarily keen on keeping track of records of any religious texts.
All right. Yeah, nothing else.
Anyone else want to do anything else?
I don't think so.
Not right now.
Honestly, I don't even. I can't even come up with. I can't come up with anything in there.
Why we can't hear you?
Every time.
And yes, something, no, something.
Alright.
Nope.
Could I do an insight check to see if there's anything that I sense?
Oh,
Good idea.
Yeah, sure. Ooh, wow.
good shit.
So, because of some crazy monk bullshit, you kind of close your eyes to reach this sort of meditative state, and you reach out. Is there anything you're like specifically trying to sense for, or are you just trying to get a feel of the place in a more?
I get a feel for this place, like how dangerous it is, if there's anything immediate I need to look out for, if there's any pattern that would be useful to notice, future reference, stuff like that.
Okay, so you kind of extend your senses out. And as you do, you can feel that for one, you and the party are not in any imminent danger. You don't sense anything that is immediately hostile towards you. Oh, excuse me, but what you do feel at the very least as sort of general senses within the area, trying to understand the sort of to understand sort of the general feel of the maze itself. The one thing that you do immediately get hit with is a overwhelming sense of for lack of better words, in accomplishment. You feel as if there are things out there that feel as if their lives or their initial goals have not entirely been reached. You don't entirely know what those are, as you are not telepathic in any sort of nature, but you get the sense that there are aspects out here that have
Unfinished business.
unfinished business, and might possibly have sort of lost their way in what they were initially trying to do here within the maze.
I turned to the others.
I think so.
Hey, are you guys feeling that? I kind of look
Feeling-
around. My eyes fall on Yuri.
Feeling what?
What do you mean?
Really fully understand it myself, but I'm getting a really odd sensation. Feels like, I don't know, have you guys heard of ghosts? Like dead people, I don't know, or something that isn't done. Unfinished business of some sort.
I have encountered a few spirits in my day.
Well, I'm not saying that's what I'm feeling, but something's off. That's the best that I can describe it as.
Interesting.
Do you know where it's coming from?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you know where it's coming from? Like what, like where this is pointing to?
Character, do I? A specific direction?
Yeah, like
I was gonna say like from
that's
within
sort
the
of
maze.
like, how do you go about it?
From what you can tell, Crystalina, it sort of seems to feel like it's everywhere. There isn't really any general direction.
Yeah, I figured. No, I don't know. I can't tell if there's a specific direction. It's just kind of all around me.
Hmm.
I guess it's not super important right now, but I don't
It
know, that
could-
sensation just kind of hit me all at once, so I figured I'd share it.
Perhaps they are previous attempts at traversing the maze who have failed. The lost ones within this maze that were mentioned.
Yeah. Perhaps. Well, that's not gonna be us. Let's keep going.
I agree.
We'll be, we'll be, excuse me. I'll be making sure, looking around just in case.
Character. Discord hates me right now. So if you can't hear me, please let me know again. I'm gonna put my headphones on again, but you might not hear me.
Okay.
You're good. You're good. All right. Yeah. Anything else anyone would like to do at the moment?
No, sir.
No, I just agree that we should move onward.
Same here.
All right. Yeah, you all continue to sort of walk along the maze. You do eventually kind of get to points where it does kind of turn off and at angles, and you continue along. There have been a couple of points of sort of crossroads, for lack of better words, that you do decide on and continue along your way. Eventually, as time sort of seems to go on, you begin to see what seems to be some types of flakes that seems to be falling from the sky, or the lack thereof, above you. They fall, at the very least, lightly, sort of drifting to the floor below. And as you kind of get closer looks at these particular flakes, you see that they are a various mix of sort of grays and blacks in color. And considering that where you guys are at the moment, without really any major investigations and whatnot, you guys can tell that it's basically ash that is falling from the skies. Not in heavy droves or whatnot, but it does lightly cover the floors and the walls of the maze itself as it sort of continues to fall. The flakes themselves also end up sort of like sticking to your clothes and whatnot. Bigby, you're just relieved that it's not in huge fucking piles because you're like 3 feet tall.
Swimming through it, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's only enough to give what seems to be a small layer within a small layer along sort of the floors itself. And despite what it seems like, where there have been moments where it seems like it should be converging into larger layers of ash, doesn't necessarily seem to be the case. The amount of ash that seems to fall upon the floor and the walls themselves doesn't seem to change as it touches the ground. But what you could at the very least tell is that as you make your footprints along sort of the ashen floor, the flakes that fall upon you eventually do make their way into covering the footprints behind you. So where you're not really able to... Yeah, after some point, you can see that they are sort of getting completely covered to where it's going to be a hard time trying to backtrack.
What was I gonna say? Crap, I lost it. Don't mind me.
Mood.
Oh yeah. Do we have there hasn't been like any forks in the road or anything yet, right?
There have been a couple. There have been a couple at this point, but for the sake of brevity, I'm saying that you guys either follow Yuri's judgment on this, or you guys kind of make the choices together and figuring out which directions to kind of go.
Okay. I have been what's the word I'm looking for? Would I have had the thought to like kind of mark a wall so that we can remember where we went? Like maybe blast a corner with my mace or something?
Yeah, I can say that you've been thinking of that ahead of time. While we're at it, can I have everyone give me a perception check?
Oh boy.
Holy shit.
Oh fuck.
Not always a bad thing, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
it always
Well,
is.
it is. It is.
19.
18.
I think I got a 16.
I got a 12.
Okay, let's see. Okay, that's not.
Oh wait,
so yeah.
I hit persuasion. My bad.
God damn it, Frost!
Oh wait, it doesn't matter. Both have the same modifier, so it's 12.
Yeah, alright, so that's 16 for Big B, 19 for Rakion, 12 for Frost,
20 for
dirty,
me.
dirty 20 for for Icarus, 18 for Yuri, Waida, make a perception check. Oh, yeah, fuck, I keep forgetting about Nugget.
I will make a perception check, but can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let
Yes,
me...
okay.
Where is the... Okay,
One
set as
second.
active for
21.
21
Good
for
rolls right now.
Crystalina.
I love
No, that's
that.
Spelltech Raider. Where the fuck is Nugget?
He's on my sheet.
Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna set him as active anyway. There we go. Jesus Christ, Nugget has shit perception. Got
He's
a
a
10.
wolf. The fuck you
It-
expect?
He got a 10, which honestly is not bad. Alright, so
He
with that,
walks through walls. You think he knows shit with his eyeballs?
that just means he's dumb as fuck. That doesn't necessarily mean he sees the wall. Or doesn't see the wall. Okay.
He just
That being
avoids
said-
staring at the corner, like cats randomly do sometimes.
Listen,
This
I
is
take it
this
in the
fucking
fact that he
horse.
sees it, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
He knows the world's
It's-
there. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, that's kind of how we've been playing this damn thing. Anyway, so for let's see, where the fuck? Let's see. 16, 19. So, yeah, for the most of you, except for Frost and Frost and Nugget,
Oh man.
and almost Bigby. But for Arakion, Yuri, Icarus, and Crystalina, as you guys are sort of making your ways through this maze, you see what looks to be off in the distance. You hear the sounds of footsteps. Not anything heavy, not anything light, but at the very least steady. And it almost sounds like they're sort of dragging themselves across the floor of the maze. You make your way sort of closer to the sound as best you can, and you eventually do see that there looks to be some sort of, for lack of better words, humanoid shape making their way across sort of your purview at a bit of a distance. It looks like they're kind of making their way across at some sort of a turnoff ahead of you. Let's see, who the fuck got the 20 and 21? Icarus and Crystalina. You two notice, for one, that the figure itself has almost some sort of a dull glow to it. And it looks like it is sort of also leaving some sort of, for lack of better words, some sort of particle trail as it sort of makes its way across.
Is it walking towards us?
As far as you can tell, no. It looks like it's making its way across some sort of other corridor that you can see directly ahead of you. Sort of walking...
Like an intersection.
Walking across an intersection directly ahead of you.
Does it?
I'm going to make a rash decision as Icarus. He's gonna jump on Nugget,
Oh, no.
extend his hand to Wyra to like pull her onto Nugget
Bro.
and go after whoever the fuck that is.
Why'd you rope
Because
me
Nugget goes
into it?
fast.
Okay,
Yeah.
If you
well,
would like to hop on, Wyra.
oh, I thought you already pulled me onto Nugget.
You have choice.
If you did,
can decide if you don't want to. You can smack his
Okay, well,
hand. He won't be happy,
ADHD
but you
brain,
can.
Do it.
ADHD brain Wyra / Crystalina Star, takes your hand confused.
Yeah.
And you're brash, so I'm assuming you just immediately pull me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Crystalina, you reach your hand out to Icarus. You
Oh,
get
shit.
yourselves
Okay.
immediately pulled up onto Nugget. Icarus, as soon as Crystalina's on Nugget, you just simply urge Nugget to move forward. You to bolt your way down the corridor, and it doesn't take you long to reach this figure.
This is the
Frost,
worst
who has
pair.
no clue what's going on, he says, "Where are you two going?" Because Because apparently
There's a
you
figure.
Yeah.
can figure your way
Fall
out.
back. Follow us. I'm not sure if we're gonna die otherwise.
Don't leave
Yeah,
the group.
you're-
Help, please.
yeah.
Icarus is just being Icarus. It's fine.
So yeah, no. Frost, Yuri, Arakion, Bigby, you guys start running, try to keep up with Nugget. Most of you realize that it's no use because it's a goddamn metal horse. But you try to catch up with them regardless. Crystalina and Icarus. And Nugget, who is an NPC, but I'm still gonna say that.
He's important.
Yes, he is. Trust me. You get there within a matter of seconds. Seconds to try and get to the figure itself. And as soon as you kind of get a better look at what this figure is, Icarus, you kind of pull Nugget to a stop as soon as you get a good look. The both of you realize that whatever you get a better look at this thing, and it is humanoid in shape and size, but its body is a mix of withered and covered in what looks to be ash in itself. It does sort of turn to you and as it's sort of shambling across, but you realize that sort of the ash and it looks like various parts of its withered body itself give off this sort of ember-like glow, as does the eyes. The sort of particle effect that is sort of trailing off it, you see, is what also looks to be some sort of ash that is sort of disconnecting itself in small clouds away from whatever this thing is, and sort of giving it this sort of aura of ash. Obviously, you don't know what else it could fucking be.
Icarus kind of just looks at it, then turns to Wire and Crystalina, and just goes, I won't lie, 100% thought it was going to be Yuri's relative. The fuck is that?
Dude, I don't know what that is, but I don't see how you could think that it's Yuri's relative when it's oozing some sort of. I don't know what is
We
it
were
even
far
leaving behind?
away.
Something.
Okay.
I think this is one of the best Crystalina Icarus interactions we've had, and it's only been like the second one we've truly had.
Crystalina has a staff, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
I? I usually do. Do I now?
Give me a staff.
Poke it
What
with
if
a
I
staff.
don't? Can I
Give me a
find
staff.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you do have a staff. I'm fairly certain I
Okay.
made sure of that.
Icarus
Okay.
turns to
Um,
Crystalina and just
yeah.
makes the grabby hand motion of give me the stick. Give me the stick.
Oh my God,
Why?
dude.
Give me the
God.
stick.
We just need.
You gonna throw it at him?
No,
You're gonna throw it at the
you're
thing?
sitting behind Icarus on a horse. Don't throw it.
Give me the
Oh,
stick.
I'm asking if Icarus is gonna throw it at the horse.
No, I'm not gonna throw it at the horse. We're on the
The
horse.
thing.
I
the
mean,
creature thing.
I meant the creature. I meant the creature.
I'm not gonna throw it at him.
PhD.
I'm gonna poke him with it.
Okay, I don't know if that's a good idea though, because see, we don't
I
know
know
what
that's
it is,
why I
and it
told
could
you
kill
to
us.
hang on to me. If it does, just
We can't fucking take anything
hang on to me.
serious.
Icarus is just gonna poke it with his stick.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Crystalina Star is gonna regret this forever. She hands Icarus the stick.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Stick acquired.
Icarus. Okay, Icarus. This is important.
Oh.
How hard are you gonna be pushing this thing with the stick?
Gingerly, very gingerly. Like just a very
okay,
like
God.
Please.
like you were trying to pick
God.
up a leaf made of ash and not
Okay,
have it
Icarus.
disintegrate very, very
Oh,
carefully.
Just a boop, just
Okay.
a light boop.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, give me. Oh, what the fuck do I want to make you roll here? You know what? No, just roll a straight d20. Honestly, there's no other fucking roll for this.
There's no skill.
What the fuck?
What's
What are you
happening?
doing?
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna do a thing here. Okay, thank God. This thing's stupid as fuck. I'm just gonna say that now. This thing's stupid as fuck. But you take Crystallina's staff and you bring it to the creature itself to where this end of the staff is at the very least touching the outer part of the skin, and you do give it sort of a light push. You see where the staff touches the skin itself, it looks like more particles of ash begin to sort of dissipate and come up into the air from where you pushed the creature. As you bring the staff back, as soon as you see that, there is no real mark of bruising at the very least, but you do see that there is, like, at the very least a sort of almost small indent in where the staff kind of pushed into this sort of ashen creature, but you see as soon as you sort of have a visible look at it, the sort of surrounding ash itself sort of starts to restore the section to what it once was. Honestly, it's kind of creepy. And the creature itself does kind of look to where you lightly pushed it, kind of looks back to you, doesn't say anything, just kind of lets out this sort of strenuous, almost whispered moan as
Ew,
it
don't do
begins
that.
to as it begins to look at you in this sort of dull, glowing ember-like eyes and begins to turn away from you and continue to sort of shamble on.
Have the rest of us caught up at this point?
At this point, I'd say the rest of you have caught up to the point where you see this figure starting to make its way out, and it's just as weirdly creepy to you guys as it was to Crystallina and Icarus.
Is there
Icarus?
something you want me to roll where I can try and identify what this thing is?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask if I'd ever seen it because, I'm old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of you are fucking old.
Not that old.
Is that me? Am I the baby?
Actually,
baby
no.
for once?
No, Bigby's the baby.
Whoa.
Wait, how old is Bigby? Like 3?
Oh.
I'm under 10 for sure.
Okay.
What is Bigby again?
Bigby's a
Kobold.
kobold.
Oh, okay.
I'm a young adult, okay.
They don't. Yeah, I was gonna
Hey,
say kobolds don't have very long lifespans.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say for you guys, roll me a history check.
Oh God.
You guys
See
are
what
I
we
think
got.
I might gun shoot it.
I got a 13.
Okay.
I got a 22.
19.
God damn.
Well, hell yeah. The
You have a
aggressive
really
boy.
huge history modifier.
Yeah.
Hey.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Why is your history modifier huge?
I don't know. It was probably one of the ones that was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. Oh, actually, never mind.
Oh wait, intelligence. It's an intelligence stat. That actually makes more sense now.
never
I
mind.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
you're right. Oh shit.
Okay, so for
Huge
Icarus,
one.
and for Arakion, at the very least, oh god damn it, because yeah, I don't quite remember what the fuck. Okay, yeah, no. Icarus and Arakion. Like, even though you are unfamiliar. Like, for the most part, the two of you are sort of unfamiliar in sort of religious aspects. Icarus, the only reason you have some idea on some god stuff is because you're old as fuck.
Other reasons as well.
Other reasons as well, but primarily because you're old as fuck. Arakion, you both know, at the very least, within the aspects of the plane of fire, there is at the very least a type of creature that does kind of revolve into what this thing could possibly be. But the reason to its creation is, for one, kind of the saddest fucking thing you've ever heard, but in this situation might actually make the most sense. You believe these things are what are referred to as ash husks. They are a weird sort of mix of elemental and undead, in which those who have died either within proximity to someone with heavy-duty primordial magics dedicated to Rhea, or may have died within the plane of fire, their bodies are turned or sort of reanimated through the powers of ash, some sort of magic involving ash, to the point where that is basically all what their bodies are become made of, is just ash. Hence the reason why they are referred to as ash husks, and they sort of leave this sort of particle trail of ash and this sort of cloud of ash around them.
Oh, so I was right. They are the ancestors.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Carlo. Sorry, I poked your dad.
You think my dad is that ugly? Please.
boy.
Arakion,
Yes.
aside from sort of that general information about ash husks, the only other thing that you would know, because of the fact that you rolled so fucking high, but then again, so did Icarus, so I guess you would kind of actually know. Yeah, to be fair, you could go either way, but the only other thing is that another way that ash husk could sort of be made is, the very least, the body itself might not necessarily have to die, so long as the soul of whoever the person was feels. It's you're not entirely sure, because at this point it gets to more necromantic bullshit that, at the very least, Arakion, you never really touch on. But while the easiest way to make an ash husk is simply to kill a fucking person and have some sort of connection to the plane of fire, another way is for the soul itself to feel, to at the very least feel so lost to the point of it feeling as if it may as well be dead.
So then, Arakion's gonna turn over to Crystalina and say, "Well, you weren't wrong."
Yeah. Guess I wasn't.
What will we do with it?
Super weird.
Just leave it be. It's not doing anything.
Seems like it wants to keep wandering.
I agree with that. I mean, if we're not attacked, then why cause
Ooh.
unnecessary?
I poked it and it did nothing. It moaned, which was disturbing.
I guess we should move out of their way.
We're at an intersection, right?
Yes.
Which way, relative to the direction we came from, is it coming from, or going from?
From. Okay, so from where you guys are sort of standing before the intersection, the ash husk was moving from the left corridor to the right one.
Okay. Which direction shall we go? Do we want to see where it came from or where it's going? It's probably wandering aimlessly. Or do we want to keep going straight?
I'm kind of curious about where it came from. You could also see about where it's going, but
And if it turns out that these are, Yuri's ancestors, maybe it could be a way of following them to find this sort of secret. I said this out of character, by the way.
I agree. We should go to the source
That's true.
if it's not too dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
And then right now it's gonna put away his shotgun.
I think we should try and see where it came from. Maybe there will be hints.
That's true. So left it is then. You said it came from the left, right?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And say, praise me.
Ooh.
Makes
like
me
that.
think of like an owl for some reason, and then I saw the other two things and looked like lungs.
Yeah, like the ripples.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you guys make your way to the turn off at the left corridor and continue to make your way.
I smash
Along-
the corner of the wall with my mace between the direction we came and the direction we're going. So if we were to come back, the smash would be on our right, which would be where we came from.
Right. So yeah, no, you can continue to sort of make your way through. Everyone give me another perception check.
God damn it.
Oh,
Okay, now I'm gonna roll the correct thing this time.
17.
Wait, not 20.
Oh.
27.
Oh, fuck.
Yo!
7. Nice job.
7.
Finally, a decent roll. Oh wait, I thought it was gonna be an 18.
Oh my god.
Roll nugget.
Damn, she really is all about
Okay.
the streams, huh?
Roll
Frost.
nugget.
Okay,
Frost is just not
17,
paying attention.
27, 14, 7, 5, 5, and Nugget.
27, dude.
That's a nice net 20.
Nugget's got a 4.
Woo, nugget.
Okay, so, at the very least, Big B. Why is the Guardian? That said you was an actor. Big B.
Yes.
As you and the rest of the party are sort of making your way along the maze itself, you kind of get to a sort of section within the maze where you see just sort of from an off glance and whatnot, and probably because you're also closer to the ground than everyone else, there are sections of the floor within sort of the space ahead of you that aren't, like, the layers of ash in itself aren't necessarily completely level. There's like a couple of sections within the ash that are like maybe a little bit higher than the rest of the floor. Then it looks like there are some that are sort of look as if they're a little bit like maybe a few feet tall and whatnot, but with the way that they're covered in ash, they could almost pass off as rocks. But to you, it seems that there is something here that the ash might have just covered. Who the fuck got the 17 again? Rakion. You at the very least notice the sort of higher level ones that are like maybe a few feet off the ground in comparison to like maybe less than that. sort of like with Big B, to you it looks like from a fuck you English. It looks like from a distant glance or whatnot that it could almost pass for being rocks. But with the way that it's shaped, both you and Big B do kind of think that there is something sort of hidden underneath the layers of ash. Everyone else, you just see Rakion and Big B look around at a couple of rocks. For some
They're
reason.
rocks. Why are they so interested? They're just rocks.
It's just a chair.
Oh god.
No, we are not bringing fucking chairs into this. We're not the Mighty Nine.
Okay.
It's just a chair.
Missing context. Don't worry about it.
Probably half of you are missing context here.
Big B.
You also notice that?
Wait, say again?
I said you also notice that?
I do. You all. Here. He points down.
Are you pointing at it for the rest of us?
Yes, like he's
Okay.
actually like pointing this. See.
I'm gonna kind of gently, I'm gonna like take a step to it, careful not to touch it, and I'm going to use, I don't have any interesting things or uninteresting things in my inventory. I'm just
Anchor
gonna
stands
try.
in the background with the stick.
Okay.
Still on with the stick. He's like, "You want to poke it with the stick?"
Oh my god.
If it is
You
what
like
I
the
think
stick?
it might, if it is what I think it is, we don't want to touch it at all. It could be a pressure plate, but it's too covered in ash to tell. I'm gonna try and use my shield to sort of fan the ash off of whatever it is. See if I can create a
Alright.
gust with my shield.
Smart.
You know what? Make a Constitution check.
Oh god, okay.
Roll good.
Check or save?
Check. I'm not that much of an ass.
Come on, dude. Yes, finally, I got an 18. So dirty 20.
Hey, nice. So yeah, you take your shield out and you start fanning the lower section of the floor itself to sort of brush the ash out. Much to everyone's surprise, it works, and the bits of ash along the floor begin to move itself off of whatever this thing is. And Frost, almost much to your relief, it's not a pressure plate. But it looks to be a, well, at this point, ashen-stained bedroll of some kind.
A bedroll.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna
Yes.
take my mace and kind of move it around to try and examine it further.
Yeah, no, you take your mace, you kind of push it around and whatnot, expecting a trap to go off. No trap goes off, and it is indeed a bedroll, and I will say with the Dirty 20 itself, the bits of the wind also kind of went over to the other sort of ash-covered object, which is not a rock, but you can tell that it's not completely uncovered, but you can tell from the bits that do kind of get ash blown off them. It, at the very least, looks like it's made of some sort of fabric.
I'm gonna go over there and try and brush the ash off, since I'm convinced it's not
Yeah.
a trap anymore.
Yeah. Now you brush the ash off the second object, and you see that it's a travel pack of some sort.
I think we're standing in the remains of someone's encampment. And I'm gonna open the travel pack, see what's in it.
So you open the pack itself. You see there's a couple of basic supplies, fire flints to sort of create a campfire and whatnot, And you see there's also a journal of some sort within the pack itself. The cover itself looks like it has some sort of writing on it, but you can't entirely tell. Or actually, Frost, what languages are you proficient in?
All of them. No, just kidding.
You wish.
I am Common and Draconic.
Damn. Your background sucks that you didn't get an extra.
Well, I think I just didn't really choose any languages. There's not been very many moments in my experience with D&D where another language is super useful.
Yeah, that's fair, but also
that said, in my other game.
That said, in this game. So yeah, no. Frost, you cannot read the language that is written on the front of the journal.
I'm going to look to Yuri, and I'm going to say, do you think you can read this? I'm going to hand the journal to them.
Can I read it, Dungeon Master?
Actually, Yuri, you can, as the language itself is primordial, more in the dialect that is sort of in the Ignan dialect that Fire Genasi are sort of more accustomed to. For the writing on the cover itself reads as a name. The name itself that you can read is Valkosi Volkanov. I'll put that in the general chat.
It's like great grandpa.
But yeah, no, Yuri, go ahead and roll me a history check.
You got it. 2.
You have no fucking clue who Valkosi Volkanov is. At the very least, it's some sort of relative of yours, but it's not your father.
Do I have any idea how far it goes back?
From just looking at the cover and from the name itself, from just at a glance, the only thing you can tell is that it looks like this thing might be old. The material that the journal itself is made out of is definitely older materials, ones that you don't really see made within the Outlands or any location that you can think of. The cover itself looks like it's made out of some type of leather, albeit you cannot identify what kind of leather it is. The pages themselves have almost this sort of cloth-like feel to them, in which you know at that point it's old as fuck, because who the fuck uses some type of cloth as fucking pages?
Right.
Is there anything else of use in the pack?
As I said, has a fire flint for lighting tools and whatnot, or lighting campfires and whatnot. You see a couple of other materials that look to be items able to make torches or stuff along those lines, as it's for the most part various materials, small sections of wood, cloth, some sort of tar-like substance that you're not really sure of.
I'm going to take the wood, cloth, and tar.
All right, so yeah, you can add that to your pack. But yeah, Yuri, you hold the journal of what looks to be someone by the name of Valkosi Volkanov, who you have no fucking clue.
Are there any words inside at all that are legible anymore?
So you open up the journal itself, you sort of skim the pages themselves. This is definitely old. At the very least, it reads as, judging by the dates that you can read, it looks to you that this, it looks to you that Valkosi, whoever he was definitely a member of your family, but was someone. God, I gotta actually remember my lore here. Let me double check something here. Is it this one? Actually, no, it have to have been. So it looks like, at the very least, it's someone that lived within possibly the late second to maybe early third era.
I see.
How much do you want to, how much of the journal do you want to try and delve into at the moment? Do you just want to kind of briefly skim it, or do you want to like actually start reading what it has and whatnot?
For now, I'll briefly skim it.
Yeah. So from what you can tell, from just briefly skimming it, it looks as if, like I said, this whoever Valkosi was someone that lived within someone that lived within kind of late second era to early third era. It's kind of hard to tell with the dates and whatnot, as they don't really show, the dates of the years themselves don't necessarily show up that often. As far as you can tell, the incident with the probably you can assume the incident with the sort of one imposter or the one person that had impersonated a goddess had already happened, and it seems like Valkosi was one of the few. It was Volkanov that was not necessarily happy about the whole situation 100%. The couple of things that you can read is that Valkosi wasn't the first of the Volkanovs to go, but you can tell at the very least he was one of the early ones. Whether or not he was a descendant or a cousin of the first Volkanov who started this whole can of fuckery, you're not entirely sure, but it seems like the two did know each other to some extent. And Valkosi, getting kind of towards the mid part of the journal, you can tell there are sections where Valkosi talked about the pull towards the Maze of Embers as he was within the material plane, and how he tried to ignore it for so long, but eventually he made his way to the entrance, proved himself to the Guardian, and started his own quest into the Maze of Embers. And you're not entirely sure what happened, as sort of the ending half is a mix of various sort of rushed inscriptions and scribbles, followed by sections of the pages being sort of covered in ash stains, to where the rest of the writing is illegible.
I think hesitates, and then when he gets to sort of the pages that are all sort of like covered in ash and the writing's illegible, he just sort of pauses. And I think a cold chill runs down Yuri's spine despite being made of fire. And I think
and despite the fact you're in one of the hottest fucking places you've ever been in.
Yeah, I think Yuri explains the book's cover and its contents. He's like, Valkosi Volkanov wrote this, I guess, an ancestor from a really long time ago of mine. I never personally met him, but the name goes back pretty long time. Might be like my great-great-grandfather or something like that.
I don't know about this, right?
Yeah, no, you're all
Private discovery.
no. It's no. This is kind of all in the open for you guys.
Wow. That's a find. Good care of that.
Yuri's gonna.
That's super cool. She starts again. Like, I don't know how I feel if I found a journal. One of my ancestors, I mean, I get told stories about they came from, but to be able to read their thoughts? Wow.
I do.
That's pretty cool.
It is, but I do just wish it were under better circumstances. Not the whole maze bullshit. Yeah. Yuri's gonna store the book for now.
Okay.
My dumbass forgot that I muted my mic.
Yeah. It's happened to Angel so many times.
My mic has a built-in little button for it, so I use that. Anyways,
God, yeah, no, that's happened to me too.
I was trying to say, that's interesting, finding a relative's journal. Might we find more clues throughout the campsite of their demise? How many of those ash-covered lumps were in the were around us?
It seems like it was just the one for the most part.
All right.
I mean,
There's
maybe you'll
nothing
find
else
some
then?
clues within it about what happened, and maybe that'll point us towards your dad.
This is the truth. With that, I'm going to kind of look around and investigate the area more. Maybe look at the wall to see if I can find like scratch marks or anything.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
May I also?
Ça va, invest. That's not the worst. 15.
15? Yeah, no, you feel along the walls and whatnot, and you do get to a point where you feel that there is some sort of indentation within the wall itself, where originally it looked like it was just nothing but a flat surface, but you start to push the ash away, and you do see that there are various markings along the wall itself that look as if they were covered by whatever ash falls had taken place within this section of the maze.
What do they look like? Is it more primordial?
No, it's... Honestly, you're not entirely sure. At the very least, it doesn't look primordial, but it doesn't look like it's any form of written language that you could tell. And even with Yuri's help, he's like, yeah, no, that's not primordial. It looks like it's just a collection of various different markings, some of which are a little bit on the finer side, some are a little bit more carved into the rock of the wall itself to like maybe an like quarter of an inch into the wall. But the ash, for some fucking reason, was able to cover the entirety of this section completely to the point where it looked like it was just nothing but a flat-faced wall.
Does this mean anything to you otherwise, Yuri?
Is there anything odd I noticed about this, DM?
You take a look at the you know what, actually for the both of you, I'm gonna say roll me an insight check.
There we go, 18.
Natural 1.
So yeah, Yuri, you have no fucking clue. Frost, as you're asking this and kind of taking a look at this a little bit more, you realize that
Guys?
this...
I cannot stay any longer. I'm gonna leave.
All right, sounds good.
It's been super fun. This session was short but very fun. So I guess I'll see you guys next week.
See you next time.
Bye. But yeah, Frost, you kind of take a look at this and you realize that with what it seems like how some of the deeper indentations of the wall is made, it looks like it was meant more to be a marking point within the wall so that God, what the fuck did I name this fucker? To where Valkosi or maybe someone else used it to try and make sure to know where they are throughout the maze.
Like a little mini map.
At the very least, a marker to know, like kind of like what you've been doing. Okay. This must have been Valkosi's way of marking the maze.
Okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for this symbol. See if we can find more of it. See if we can trace your ancestors' path, if that's what this is. Because I think this was their way of marking their location in the maze. Perhaps they revisited this site often and needed to remember where they were.
We should keep our eye out for more things like that.
It'll be difficult to do with how much ash was on the wall, though.
Very true.
Is there anything else of note in this spot?
Not that you can tell, no.
Okay. I suppose, unless somebody wants to keep the ash-covered bedroll, we should move on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You guys...
Forward!
You guys continue to make your way through the maze itself. Eventually getting to a point where you all feel as if it has been a good long trek to the point where you all need to stop at the very least for a rest. You start to set up camp for... In your head, you're thinking you're setting up camp for the night, but you then look up and realize that the sky hasn't really changed at all. There's really no day or night, so it's like, oh, I guess we're just setting up camp. With that, who feels like they want to take the first watch of the night?
Frost volunteers to take first watch.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Frost.
All right, it'll be another good one. Oh, that's an 11.
11. You sort of look out. Not really paying attention much 100% I mean, you're still alert and you're whatnot, but as of sort of the entire bit of your watch, you don't necessarily see anything that comes to mind. You hear the you do hear what sounds like more of the sort of strained moans that kind of came from the ash husks that Crystalina and Icarus kind of described what the one you originally saw sounded like, and it's not in the, like, you hear it every once in a bit, sometimes at a distance, to where it's hard, like, you have to, like, strain to kind of really hear it and be like, there's one kind of roaming around and whatnot. But from what you can tell, nothing seems to be making any advances towards you and the rest of the camp, and it seems like things sort of go uneventful for the rest of your watch.
Okay. With that, I'll wake the next person for their turn on the watch.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
I'll volunteer. Oh, unless you're jumping for it, Carlo.
I mean, it's up to, I mean, do you want to go?
Oh yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. As I wake you up, I'm going to just say, keep an ear out for those zombies. They're definitely active today or tonight or whatever the bloody time is.
Understood.
And then I'm going to kind of sweep out an area of ash, sweep the ash away, preferably not into anyone else's space, and then just push the ash, wakes up somebody.
Yeah, thank fuck none of you guys have keen mind. I am so thankful I don't have to deal with that bullshit.
Keen mind,
Anyway.
remind me that.
I can speak now.
Oh, good.
Apparently you can.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just gonna clear out a space of ash and lay out my bedroll and go to sleep.
All right, Bigby, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Alrighty.
Wake.
11.
Yay.
God damn. Double 11s.
Consistency.
So Bigby, kind of much like with Frost's, for the most part, you can hear like the occasional moans of the ash husks. Not often, but like every once in a bit, and sometimes having to strain to really listen. But a bit of your mind seems to kind of drift off as you kind of drift off into thought. What do you think would be something that Bigby would be thinking that would just kind of distract him from trying to maintain the best watch he can?
I mean, that's gonna be difficult because he's pretty on edge. I mean, he's fine with corridors, but he's not used to this much ash. But I think like his main motivation with going through with this, other than just supporting Yuri, is hopefully finding a greater meaning in like doing the right thing, and so he's very dead set on like doing something of value.
Yeah. No, you have these sort of thoughts, and as you do, your mind kind of drifts back to like when you're trying to compare yourself. Not only do you try and compare to your friends, Yuri, who is trying to find his family and answers in his life, your brain also drifts to trying to compare yourself to Rakion, who literally fought his uncle and died for the sake of proving that his uncle was an asshole. And somehow it worked, despite Rakion almost dying. But on the other side of the scale, you think back to members of your family within the kobold tunnels. You think of your cousins who spend their lives in the kobold tunnels doing trade work. You think of the various other members of your old tribe and how some of them were traders, others were diggers, and making more tunnels and trying to extend them throughout the Outlands. You think of the members of your tribe who focused more on maintaining some sort of sheltered civilization within the tunnels and these sort of safe havens above ground for the kobolds. And then in between life within the kobold tribes and life with your party, there is you. Now, excuse me. Granted, life within life as you've sort of lived with Arakion has been fun. It's been an adventure. You wouldn't trade it for anything else. But you do wish there was at one point where, for once in your life, it would be you being able to help everyone in a major extent. You who have the most major impact within the group to a point where it benefits them, and you continue to sort of compare the aspects in your life between either the members of the party or the members of your tribe, and with you who, as far as you think, sort of sit in the middle between the two. And as sort of this realization and this thought process comes, how does Bigby sort of feel as he kind of, in an exhausted manner, kind of pieces all of this together?
I mean, I think ever since leaving his home, Bigby's goal has been to not come back until he can go back to his family and say confidently, here are these things that I've done right and I've made a change. And he views this as like an opportunity to achieve that.
As you sort of view it as such, a echoing voice begins to sort of creep around as these thoughts come to light. And the voice kind of echoes out to you. So you wish to be able to prove yourself. As you sort of turn around, suddenly you feel as if you were pulled, as you turn around, you are once again in a different scenery than the maze itself. You're once again in what seems to be this forest, one that you recognize from the one dream that you had, which seems like so long ago, but as you do realize, kind of put the two and two locations together, you once again see the silhouetted figure sort of standing by you, or standing in front of you.
I'm gonna sort of slowly approach the figure.
Tell me, child, to what great lengths would you go to ensure that you had the power to achieve the goals that you so crave?
I believe I'm capable of achieving my goals as I am.
What if I were to tell you that you could be so much more than you already are?
I'm sorry, I feel like I must have asked you this the last time you approached me, but what is it you want in return for whatever you're offering me here?
You hear sort of an echoing laugh from the figure as they go. It is not as much as what I offer in that you come from a line of powerful people. In your blood lies the power in which you so crave. Now, you have expressed that you do not want any outside help, and to that I respect. However, what if I were to help unlock power that is already within you?
Listen, I love my family, but we do not have whatever great power you're describing.
Not within recent years, perhaps, but so long ago. You did once. And I have the chance to unlock that power within you.
What would you have to do?
Nothing extensive, I promise you that, but I must know now if you wish for this power to be awakened in you, young kobold.
I mean, if it's already a part of me, then of course I do, but what kind of power is it?
It is, at the very least, one of arcane strength, descended from powerful entities that no longer walk your plane of existence. The figure reaches its hand kind of out towards you. You can see it looks as if it is almost clawed in some manner. Not clawed like a hag's, but but at the very least in some sort of a clawed-like manner as the hand stretches out towards you.
Bigby steps back, but then hesitates to continue.
Do you accept the hand?
Is it trying to... Oh, man.
At the very least, it's reaching out towards you.
I'll wait, and then if it stops, Bigby will shake the hand.
You wait for a moment for some thing to possibly happen that might be concerning, but nothing comes. Eventually, you do reach out and shake the hand, and you feel and you see what looks to be some surge of energy come from the figure's hand towards you, surrounding you. You feel this essence of magic originally start to make its way into you, and then it erupts within you in grandiose, arcane strength of power. Not as if something was given to you, but at the very least, you feel that the power in yourself is yours. The scales along your kobold skin begin to sort of grow, for lack of better words, begin to sort of grow stronger in shape and color as your body is, for this time being, surrounded by primordial energy. Now, this is very important. Is Bigby's primary color green or blue?
Green.
Green? So, okay, double checking something here. Okay. You feel this energy start as purely arcane. The scales along your body begin to show more prominent and green in color. And the figure slowly begins to sort of dissipate around you as the energy around you starts out as pure arcane and then begins to become this sort of, for lack of better words, poisonous aura around you, but it's not harming you. And the figure then sort of looks to you with gleaming, glowing eyes and goes, "Now, be awakened, child. Be awakened, child of dragons." And suddenly you are back within the maze, back within the camp with your friends. Bigby, I want you.
Oh no.
Oh god.
It's nothing bad. But with that, no, I want you to take a level in Draconic Sorcerer and increase your charisma to 13.
Let's go.
No.
Hell yeah.
Epic stuff.
And for your Draconic ancestry, I want you to choose green.
Okay, we'll do.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's, I think, is actually a good spot to leave it for tonight. Like, I mean, how long have we been going? Almost 2 hours now?
1 hour 45.
Oh,
About that.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations.
Oh man.
Let's go.
So that is
Mistra.
it's not Mistra. It's not Mistra. I almost thought about making you take a level in Warlock, but no, that didn't happen. So yeah, congratulations, you're a sorcerer now.
Yeah, could you imagine for them? Oh my god. Hi, you'll
That would have
never
been
escape
so
my
fucking
wrath.
mad.
If it was Mistra would have died.
She's
Yeah.
already
But yeah, that is where we're going to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you everyone for watching. I would have gone a little bit longer, but I am the only one at home right now, and I have to take care of my dogs and myself, for one. But we will continue this next week. And yeah, that is the second time we have had a player character get roleplayed into getting a second class.
That's really cool.
Yep. Now the club is, yeah. I did that with Carlo.
It's a kitty.
some time back. But yeah, congratulations.
Oh my gosh, is that Evangeline?
Yo.
And like,
No, she's so big.
oh yeah.
She should be.
All right, I'm gonna end.
But
stream now.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. And is it Tuesday yet?
Bye, stream.
No.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm never saying that again.